Don't get hung up on doing this and doing that because your brain only has so many, we call it like cognitive calories. This is your brain, whether you like it or not. It's like a battery. You've only got so much juice per day, or you can't operate, right? And this battery, it runs out whenever you make decisions, and they could be macro decisions, they could be micro decisions, they can be big, or they can be small decisions. Either way, you're draining that battery slowly throughout the day, and then obviously when you sleep, it recharges back up, right? So one of the reasons you're not where you are, where you want to be at, is because you're draining your energy from this brain battery in the wrong places. I could be trying to decide what to wear. It could be to decide what we're gonna have for dinner. Could be trying to decide what YouTube video to watch. All these little BS stuff, like when you want to see your friends in the weekend, or at what time, all these little micro and macro decisions. And then like the big decisions too that matter. So for example, like how to have a convo with this specific person, right? So this is your brain. It's basically one big battery, and it's running lower and lower the more decisions you make. So our aim here, guys, is to use that up as efficiently as possible. And how would we do that? Not by making more decisions. That'll just drain it more. It's about making less decisions. But the decisions you make will now go into something that actually moves the needle, that actually is going to put money in your pocket. Is all making sense so far, or have I lost you guys?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay, awesome. So guys, start thinking in a way where, okay, how do I do more? It's not about how do I do more. It's about how can I make less of the wrong decisions. Let me write this down, actually. Stop thinking in how can I do more and add more to my plate. So you got to think about it like a car as well. So you got the battery analogy, we also got a car. You think of a race car, a NASCAR, or a F1. You don't get faster by adding more stuff to it. You get faster by trimming the fat. You get faster by stripping off unnecessary stuff. That's how you get faster. That's how you win races. So you got to start thinking in a way where it's like, okay, how can I remove? How can I eliminate more on my plate? Or how can I eliminate? How can I make less of the wrong decisions? Or another way you can look at it is, if I only had 2 hours a day work, what would I spend my time on? What would I spend my time on? If you only had 2 hours to work today, if that's all you were allowed. If you worked over that, then you get punished. But if you only have 2 hours today to make the most of it, what would you actually work? And if you're setting, it's all going to come down to these three things. That's it. Because these three things actually move the needle. If we're closing, it's going to be actually taking sales calls. You can throw in follow-ups there too if you want. But for the most part, when you're a closer, it's just going to be taking sales calls and training. So sharpening your sword. And not to say that you can't throw that, you can throw that in too actually in setting, but this more applies for closing. So yeah, don't get caught up on, just focus on mastering the basics, guys, because that's what's gonna make you the most money. It's the people who make the most money, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, stuff like that, like people like that, Bill Gates, they make that much money because they hammer down the basics to a T. Like they've mastered every single part. They mastered the marketing, they mastered the product, they mastered sales, they mastered emotional management, they mastered accounting, all this like basic stuff, not posh stuff, not overcomplicated fugazi stuff. It's just the basics that they mastered. They've done it so well. That's why they make so much money. And you start by doing that, by being aware of the fact that you can only have so much energy throughout the day. You can only have so much mental capacity throughout the day. So you need to be more conscious how you're spending that. And then you need to think about, okay, if I only had 2 hours a day to work, what would I spend my time on? And how can I make less decisions to go further? This is the source, guys. This is how you actually make. This is how you're going to make July your most prosperous month, is by making the decisions that actually move the needle, forgetting everything else.